Imagine your soldiers advancing, protected by the finest armored vehicles ever built. These machines roll across the battlefield, giving hope to the men inside, designed not only to survive but to dominate. Russia once claimed that its elite tanks were unbeatable, the pride of its army, strong enough to crush anything in their path. Yet on the battlefields of Ukraine, that story is beginning to collapse. Western-supplied armor has revealed the truth. With speed, precision, and smart tactics, they strike hard, and Russia's strongest tanks fall one after another. What was once called invincible is now exposed as vulnerable, forcing Moscow's forces to retreat and rethink their war. Stay with us, because this video will show how Western armor dismantles Russia's elite machines and why no tank is truly safe anymore. Tanks have come a long way since their first appearance in World War I, crawling across trenches and surviving minefields. Today's modern giants, like the Leopard 2 and the Abrams, carry heavy guns, advanced targeting systems, and thick armor that makes them look less like battlefield vehicles and more like warships moving across the ground. For over a century, these machines have dominated the battlefield, shaping the way wars are fought. But the war in Ukraine raises a difficult question. Are these massive steel beasts reaching the end of their era, or are they simply evolving into something smaller and faster? The answer lies in the growing vulnerability of tanks, exposed by new anti-tank weapons, precision artillery, and FPV drones. From these heavy losses, however, new strategies are emerging. Ukraine has begun to rely more on lighter, faster vehicles that can move quickly across open terrain, avoiding the fate of heavier tanks caught in ambushes. One class of vehicles in particular, the infantry fighting vehicle, or IFV, has started to steal the spotlight from main battle tanks. With strong firepower, mobility, and versatility, IFVs like the Bradley have shown that sometimes a lighter vehicle can deliver heavier blows than expected. Traditional tank battles in open fields are no longer effective, and losses among armored units have risen sharply on both sides. Russia, in particular, has suffered thousands of tank losses throughout the war, with its main fleet of T-72s and T-80s proving highly vulnerable. Even the T-90M, Russia's most advanced battle tank, has struggled to survive on the Ukrainian front lines. Designed with modern composite armor, reinforced by relict explosive reactive armor for passive protection, and equipped with the new Arena-M active protection system, the T-90M was meant to represent the pinnacle of Russian engineering. Yet in reality, its performance has been disappointing. Open-source intelligence from Oryx reported in 2024 that more than 100 T-90M have been destroyed, damaged, abandoned, or captured in Ukraine, a devastating blow to Moscow's claims of superiority. Although the T-90M only entered service in 2019 and was intended to be the pride of Russia's armored forces, its repeated failures in Ukraine have shaken morale among Russian troops. Each destroyed tank sends a powerful message not only to the soldiers on the ground, but also to Vladimir Putin and his generals. The era of mechanized dominance against Ukraine has largely collapsed. One of the most surprising clashes of the war came in early 2024, when Ukraine's infantry fighting vehicle, the M2 Bradley, went head-to-head with Russia's T-90M. A viral video released by Ukraine's 47th Mechanized Brigade showed the Bradley engaging the T-90 at close range, unleashing dozens of 25mm high-explosive rounds. Against all expectations, the Russian tank, considered one of the most advanced in Moscow's arsenal, was overwhelmed and destroyed. On paper, the T-90M should have been far superior, with heavier armor, advanced systems, and the reputation of being Russia's elite war machine. Yet the footage revealed a shocking truth. Even a lighter vehicle, when used with skill and precision, could dismantle one of Russia's strongest tanks. The Bradley's success in Ukraine is not an isolated case. This vehicle has long been respected by U.S. infantry for its performance in Iraq and Afghanistan, where its powerful weapons, advanced optics, and excellent mobility proved invaluable. Ukrainian soldiers now share that same respect, relying on the Bradley to deliver results against Russian armor. What makes the story even more striking is that the Bradley is not a tank at all. It is an infantry fighting vehicle. Russia's war in Ukraine has come at an extraordinary cost. Open-source assessments indicate that Moscow has already lost tens of thousands of armored vehicles, including tanks and infantry fighting vehicles, across the battlefield. These losses are not just numbers. They represent the collapse of Russia's traditional armored doctrine, once believed to be the backbone of its military strength. Each destroyed tank or abandoned vehicle weakens Russia's ability to project power, forcing its commanders to rethink strategies that have failed against modern Western weapons and tactics. The human toll is even more staggering. Casualty estimates suggest that personnel losses have reached into the millions, a figure that underscores the devastating scale of this conflict. For Russia, these losses erode morale and strain its ability to sustain prolonged operations. For Ukraine, they highlight the effectiveness of Western support and the resilience of its forces. The destruction of Russia's armored fleet and the immense human cost together mark a turning point in the war, sending a clear signal that traditional mechanized dominance is no longer enough to secure victory in modern warfare. For Russia, tanks have never been just machines of war. They are symbols of national pride and military strength. The T-90M in particular was promoted as proof that Moscow could still dominate the battlefield, a weapon meant to inspire confidence at home and fear abroad. State media portrayed these tanks as invincible, reinforcing the image of Russia as a modern superpower. But when footage emerged of destroyed T-90s in Ukraine, the propaganda began to unravel. Each burning tank became not only a tactical loss, but also a blow to Russia's image of superiority. Ukraine, on the other hand, has used these moments to fuel its own narrative. Videos of Western-supplied vehicles defeating Russia's elite armor spread quickly online, turning battlefield victories into powerful symbols of resilience. For Ukrainian soldiers and civilians alike, these images represent hope and proof that Russia's war machine can be stopped. The war in Ukraine has shattered Russia's armored pride and rewritten the rules of modern combat. Once invincible tanks like the T-90M now lie destroyed, while Western vehicles such as the Bradley prove that speed, precision, and adaptability matter more than sheer size. Even the strongest armor has shown its weakness, as swarms of FPV drones and advanced anti-tank weapons tear through steel that was once thought unbreakable. Each burning tank is not only a battlefield loss, but a symbol that no empire, no weapon, and no army is untouchable. As Ukraine fights on, the world witnesses a turning point, the fall of old mechanized dominance and the rise of a new era of warfare where resilience, innovation, and drone technology decide victory.